Tanmay to join. Hi, Tanmay.
Hey Anshul, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Let's begin.
So, hi. Guys, welcome to the open house for Faith Career. And I have done these kind of sessions before, but for the first time, Tanmay is with you guys, with all of you. So I would want to start with introducing Tanmay to all of you. So Tanmay is the co-founder of Faith Career and our study abroad expert. He himself has studied in US, Canada, and France, and India also, of course. And he has been helping students to get their dream seat, master's, PhD, and MBA seats abroad since 7 years, since more than 7 years, I would say. Though we have recently started this brand together called Faith Career, but Tanmay is has been helping students on his own since last 7 years. Uh, some of you are in our WhatsApp group. Those who are not and want to be a part, please let me know. After the call is over, I will add you. So those who are in WhatsApp group, they already know about the great success stories of Tanmay. He has got students almost in every continent and with great, crazy scholarships, all tier 1B schools. Even people have got scholarship for top 100 global B schools, even without a GMAT score through Tanmay. So, Tanmay, welcome and thanks a lot for joining. And uh, please say a few words, and then we'll start taking all the questions which people have already posted to for us to answer.
Great. Thank you, Anshul, for introducing me. I'm very moved by your kind words. Hi, everyone. I am Tanmay Singh. I'm a study abroad expert, as Anshul mentioned a short while ago. And I'm very excited to be doing this live. I have obtained educational credentials from 4 countries, the US, France, Canada, and of course, India. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to guide and mentor so many talented and amazing students over the last 7+ years. And I'm looking forward to mentor even more. Please feel free to share any questions that you might have. And a quick reminder that the more specific your question is, the better we would be able to answer it. And therefore, we would be able to help you in a much better way. Anshul, we can start, taking the questions.
Right. So, guys who have joined us live, you can ask the question in the comment section and also in the question section. And you know, while we will kind of prioritize the questions which people have already posted on our Google Forms or who have already asked us to answer. So we can start with Yusuf. Yusuf has asked BITSoM versus Master Union, how to get in and is there any scholarship available with these schools? And very important question, since they are new, are there any risks associated with them? So hi, Yusuf has already joined the session. So Yusuf, I will answer this for you because we have one student this year who is joining Masters Union, and she had admit offer letters from both Masters. No, she's joining BITSoM. I'm really sorry. She's joining BITSoM, though she has had offer letters from both Masters Union and BITSoM and a good scholarship from Masters Union also. Again, I do not mean to defame or kind of say anything negative about any school because that is kind of research I would encourage everyone to do for themselves. All I can share is my personal opinion. I was not really very happy about the way Master Union conducted its interview. They just sent a mail that your interview will be next morning, late night, and even the interview, the candidates felt that there were some random questions asked in the interview. Also, one thing you should note that Masters Union is just located in some building, office building in Gurgaon, very near to where I live, while BITSoM is a proper campus in Powai in Mumbai. Again, BITSoM is associated with a great brand that is BITS Pilani, which is one of the best engineering schools in the country, and now they're venturing towards management. It can be, though it's a new school, but it is very promising. There are most of the people in the management are ex-ISB, and it can become the next ISB for 2-year MBA. I believe so. But again, this is my personal opinion. And this should strictly be my personal opinion. I do not mean to devalue any other school, but if given a chance to choose between these two schools, I will definitely be choosing BITSoM. There are scholarships available, of course. I believe that if you have a very high GMAT or GRE score, you can, and a good interview performance, you can get a good scholarship for BITSoM as well. That's pretty much from my side. Anusha, I will come to your question later. I have taken a note of it. Okay, let me answer it right away. You have asked, with 7 years of experience, ISB brand versus executive masters union, for someone looking forward to build career in the analytics field itself. Anusha, I think ISB has I think advanced management program specifically for analytics professionals. I think it would do great for you. But again, please remember, it's not really an MBA program. It just it is like a certificate program. I would not suggest Masters Union for a specific program right now, because, as all of us know, it's a very new school, and we have to wait and watch uh, and see how it really fares. So yeah. Okay. The second question is from Yusuf again. Is it possible to grab a fully funded scholarship in ISB or any reputed university abroad? Yeah, it is very much possible, Yusuf, but you need to be eligible for that. You need to have a really high GMAT or GRE score, around 740 plus, and you have to show great credentials at your work as well as in extracurricular. You should have a very holistic profile, specifically for ISB as well as for colleges abroad as well. Also, are there scholarship available for students having low GMAT score, 600 to 650? Definitely not for ISB, but for study abroad options. And I would request Tanmay to answer this question specifically for study abroad options.
Hi, Yusuf. Thank you for joining us. I would say that when it comes to schools outside India, most of them are looking at a candidate's profile, from the 360 degrees angle, which means that while your GMAT score is an important parameter for them to judge whether or not they would like to give you a scholarship, please also keep in mind that other factors are equally important. For example, the kind of essays that you've written and the way you have showcased your personality through them. The second would be definitely the letters of recommendation which your referees have written for you. The third would be the kind of extracurricular activities that you have participated in during your undergraduate degree and during your professional experience. Any previous scholarships if you might have won or might have procured would also be taken into consideration.
Right. And do you want to say anything about his second question? That is, are there any scholarship available for students having low GMAT score, that is 600 to 650?
I would say that as far as my memory is concerned, most schools do not focus only on the GMAT score while giving a scholarship. So most schools don't do
But
that.
you have a recent success story of Mimansha, who got a great scholarship even after a lower GMAT or GRE, right?
Yeah, she did. Thank you for reminding me that, Anshul. So in case of Mimansha, she was able to obtain the Excellence Scholarship from Schema of 3,000 euros because she scored well during her undergraduate degree. So while she did not have a very high GMAT score, she was able to get that Excellence Scholarship because she had a very good score during undergrad.
Also, maybe because she was applying to a French school and she also had French language proficiency. I think that must have also helped, right? What do you think?
Yes, I do think that she is an A2 in French and she's currently learning B1. And I'm sure that when I was preparing her for interviews, I made it a point to tell her to convey to the admissions committee that she can speak French at the A2 level. So that might have also played a strong role in her getting the scholarship. Because essentially, all of these schools want people who can come to the country and speak the local language. In her case, the moment she is able to learn the B1 level, she would be able to speak French, and therefore she would be able to add to the reputation of the school by grabbing a good internship or a job opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Tanmay. Next question is by Akash. ISB PGP for SRCC graduate with 5 years tier 2 consulting experience. What kind of score should I be aiming for GMAT and what are the scholarship parameters for ISB PGP? So Akash, I think I should be able to answer this question because I'm very, very glad to tell you that 2 students at ISB this time me through 14.5 lakh scholarship. I'll tell you her profile. She's a dentist with 730 in GMAT, 720 or 730. I don't really remember, but I can tell you later. I can confirm that later after the call. She's a dentist. She had clinical experience for 1 or 2 years, and then she worked as a credit manager at State Bank of India. So she brought a decent GMAT score, gender diversity, and academic and professional diversity as well. And of course, I prepared her very well for the interview, and her interview went really well. Second, she has a very, very normal profile, but a 716 GMAT, and she got a scholarship worth 16.5 lakhs. Her name is Ria. And she also had a need-based scholarship application, which we had written together for her. So I think, and she is a winner of 2 national level quizzes. And also, and her post MBA goal was public policy consulting. Though she had no experience in public policy consulting, but she kind of, we were able to write an application in such a way that she will bring a lot of knowledge of public policy with her because she has been an ex-UPSC aspirant and also national level winners in some very prominent quizzes for which you need a lot of general awareness. So a combination of all these things ensured that they got great scholarship. So I hope that answers your questions. If you are asking about GMAT score, try to have a GMAT score of more than 730 if you are really serious about getting a scholarship. And rest leave it to us. We will help our best. We'll do our best to ensure that you get a seat and you get a scholarship. Okay. Another question by Yusuf is that can you throw some light on some schools with modest GMAT score but great placements such as RSM Netherlands, Imperial London? Tanmay, you have done this so many times for so many people. You have got people at tier 1B schools all across the world with minimal GMAT score and even with no GMAT score. So please, this is your expertise. So I'd request you to answer this question.
Okay. Yusuf, this is there's a lot that I can talk about within the purview of these schools. If you can write or type your specific question in the chat, that would be very helpful. Until the time we do that, I'm going to try to broadly touch on what you asked. Yes, there are schools out there in the West, also in Australia, by the way, where you can get either without a GMAT score or even if you don't have a very high GMAT score, that would work as well. RSM is a great example. Imperial College London would want you to have a competitive GMAT score, so I would not really place it in the category of schools which are able to accept low GMAT scores. As far as RSM is concerned, it's a great school, and Netherlands is of course a great place to both live and work. Specifically for RSM, remember that they have their intake in January instead of the fall season, which is usually August or September. One of my students recently made it to RSM with a scholarship of 5,000 euros. And one of the reasons why I think he was able to get that, in addition to his own merit, of course, is because he submitted his application much earlier than the round 1 deadline. So, if you apply early, you definitely have a lot of unbeatable advantages. For example, in his case, he was he was given the Dean's Merit Scholarship of 5,000 euros, which would be deducted from his tuition fees. And he's also be serving as the ambassador of the MBA program at RSM. And as I said earlier, please feel free to write the specific question that you might have regarding these schools in the chat. Thanks.
Okay. Then the next question is by Chitranshu. Can I get into Ivy League without GMAT or GRE?
Yeah, I'll take it. Hi Chitranshu, I hope you're here with us. Yes, you can. That is the short answer to your question. If I'm to expand on it, what I'll say is that in many of these Ivy League schools, they're located, all of them are in the US, of course. They ask for optional essays. So if you can explain through one of those optional essays as to why you are either unwilling or not able to take the GRE or GMAT, or if you can explain any quantitative courses that you might have studied in the past, either during undergraduate degree or during your previous master's degree, that is very helpful. Okay, maybe you have taken some other exam, let's say CAT, which is offered in India. That is also helpful. So if you can just tell them that you have the quantitative rigor which is required for an MBA program, that is very helpful for the MBA admissions committee to know.
Okay. Vipasha has asked MIM versus MBA, MIM in London, colleges that accept GMAT in India, MBA in India versus MIM abroad. So I will just answer colleges that accept GMAT in India, and rest of the questions I think you can take, Tanmay. So Vipasha, the colleges that accept GMAT in India are all one-year MBA by the Tier 1 colleges, such as ISB, IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Lucknow, Kozhikode, 1-year MBA by Accelerate, SP Jain, the 2-year MBA, GMAT is accepted, BITSoM GMAT is accepted, Masters Unions GMAT is accepted as well. If I'm not wrong, the 2-year MBA by MBI Gurgaon, they also accept the GMAT score. These are the schools which accept GMAT in India. MIM versus MBA, I think Tanmay, please, by all means, you can explain this.
Vipasha is asking about MIM versus MBA.
MIA versus MBA also, she's asking about MIM in London.
Okay. Thank you for the question, Vipasha. I would say that when it comes to MIM versus MBA, one of the core reasons why people tend to pursue an MIM program is because it does not require you to have a rich experience of 5 to 6 years, which is usually demanded by MBA programs outside India, right? A lot of folks also pursue an MIM program because of the fact that they get to study almost the same things as an MBA program in a shorter duration, because many MIM programs are 1 year in duration, some are even 10 months in duration. The third factor why someone might want to consider an MIM program is because they want to kickstart their career right after their undergraduate degree or after 1 to 2 years of work experience. In most cases, if I may remind you, in most cases, maximum years of work experience which is allowed for pursuing an MIM program is 2. So you might want to ensure that you are falling in that category during, at the time of your application. So if you're doing that, great. Come to us. We will be happy to help you apply to those schools.
Okay. Karan is asking what GMAT score is needed for XLI and MDI Gurgaon. Karan, if I remember correctly, 700 plus is what they expect from you. It would be difficult if you have less than 700. Any special requirement criteria for these two colleges? No. Also, Karan, I don't think you will be eligible for XLI 1-year course right now because I think they need more than 5 years of experience. MDI Gurgaon, you need to check. It's a good school, but it is really not the school for consulting aspirants. It is great school for marketing, but not very amazing for consulting. So I think you need to consider that. And again, I repeat, you are totally an ISB material and you should go to ISB in India or a great school in Europe or US. Okay. What are the other questions? Just give me a minute. Yeah. Harshit Shah has asked, does MBA from abroad have prospects of picking up job abroad as well? I think, Tanmay, please.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for the question, Harshit. Yes, you do. In fact, whenever anyone works with me on their applications, I ensure that they are targeting or at least going to countries where they have work authorization, where they're allowed to legally work after completing their master's or a PhD degree. So to answer your question, you're very much allowed to work in your host country after you pursue your education there. Most countries that I know of, especially in the Anglophone and Francophone world, have some sort of post-study work permit or work authorization, which allows the student, the fresh graduate, to stay in that country for, let's say, 2 to 3 years and then work there, gain practical experience. And if they decide, and depending on the country's immigration rules, they may either want to continue to stay there as a permanent resident, such as in case of Australia and Canada, or they might have to extend their visa, such as in case of the US, by having their company sponsor their H-1B visa. In case of Western European countries such as Germany and France, Netherlands, there is something called as a residence permit, which is valid for 5 years, which is again a visa that is sponsored by the company. So yes, there are lots of possibilities, and I would definitely encourage you to get in touch with us so that we can explain you more about them.
Okay. Amay is asking MBA in India from a tier 1 institute versus an MIM in Germany or France. Can you please elaborate on the merits and demerits? So, Amaya, it kind of depends on where exactly you want to work after, your MBA. If you want to work in India, then definitely you should apply in India. But if you want to work abroad, then MIM. And if you have less than 3 years of experience, then definitely MIM in France or Germany makes sense. Also, Tanmay, if you want to add on something.
I do. Amay, thank you for the question. I would very quickly like to mention that a watertight compartmentalization is not possible. You're looking at a tier 1 MBA in India, which has a very different geography, which has a very different job market, versus an MIM in Germany. I mean, I do not think that with 7+ years of work experience in this industry, I would still be able to answer that question with full confidence, because these are two very different things. And while the essential skill set is the same, which is taught in both MIM and MBA programs, please note that the geographies are different, which means that the case studies that would be taught to you would be different. The way the economy is functioning would be different. And ultimately, the job market that you would be entering after you finish your education would be very different.
Yes, but still, I would, repeat what I said. If you want to stay back in India, then it's wiser to pursue your MBA from India itself, because you'll be spending lesser amount of money, and you'll be able to pay off your loans easily. But yeah, if you want to go abroad, then pursuing MBA in India will not be a good idea. It would be difficult to find a job abroad. Shreyas asked a very good question. Does being a doctor qualify you for diversity scholarship and ISB? Yes, it does. It totally does. Most of the doctors in my batch was a bit different, because there were more than 10 doctors, including dentists and physiotherapists. So there were around, if I remember correctly, 12 to 13 medical professionals in my batch, class of 2018. Of course, I didn't go and ask everyone that if you got a scholarship, but most of the people I knew, most of the people I was friends with, they got diversity scholarships. So yeah, it helps. Okay. Let me scroll if we are missing on any question. No, we have answered all the questions in the chat. Perfect. Now let's go back to our sheet where people had put up a question. Yeah. How can we compare Europe B schools versus ISB or IIM? Again, the answer would be on similar. Hello, Tanmay, can you hear me?
Yes, I am able to hear you, but your voice is breaking a little.
Okay. I said the question is, how can we compare European B schools versus ISB or IIM?
Right. Do you want to start by answering that, or should I chime in?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the question, whoever asked it. I would say that European B schools are much better when it comes to ranking than ISB or IIM. So if you go by FT rankings, European B schools are much better. For example, if my memory serves me well, the MBA program at NCR is currently ranked second in the world, right? So there is that. There are many very good programs in France. For example, HEC Paris is there, right? Then you have, RSM's MBA program. You have many very good schools in Germany as well. Belgium, KU Leuven is there. So there are very good schools out there in Europe where you can pursue your, management education. When it comes to comparing them to ISB and IIM, I would say that you have to check what your post MBA goals are. If your goals are the ones which align with, let's say, European economy, for example, if you wish to work in the luxury sector, then it would make a lot of sense for you to pursue your MBA from France, because France has a booming luxury industry. If you wish to get into fashion, then Italy, SDA Bocconi is what you should be targeting. SDA Bocconi, once again, is a very highly ranked school in Europe, Italy. So that's pretty much out there. And if you can please specifically type your question in the chat, we would be happy to answer that as well.
Right. So basically, the decision should boil down on which geography you really want to work at, and if you want to work in a particular country, then please go ahead and pursue your master's or MBA from that country. And as Tanmay pointed out, if you want to work for a particular industry, generally I've seen people who want to work in automobile industry, they end up going to Germany. People who want to work in fashion or luxury, they end up studying in Italy or France. Similarly, people who have great scores throughout, they have been great students, good GMAT also, and they really want to go into consulting outside India, then they choose NCI, because NCI has been ranked among the 3 best B schools in the world since many years, and it is the consulting Mecca of the world. The way ISB is consulting Mecca of India, all consulting aspirants in India, they end up going to ISB. At least they want to go to ISB. Similarly, people who want a global consulting career outside India, they prefer colleges like NCI and LBS also for that matter. While people who are a bit older, they are having 6 to 7 years of experience and that they want to get into senior executive roles, then IMD Switzerland is a great school for that. If you want to if you want to become a general manager, if you want to become like a head of marketing, head of sales for pharmaceutical industry, for automobile industry, then IMD Switzerland is a great school, because most of the pharmaceutical medical device industries are located in and around Switzerland. And that is the school where the average age of MBA applicant is around 32 to 33 years. They take people with more experience. So you have to take all these factors into consideration and then make a choice. And if you're not able to do that, please contact us. We will be glad to sit with you and finally make a plan. When should you apply? To which schools you should apply? When you should take the exam? How much score you should manage? You should target. If you're not able to get that target score, what is your plan B? What should be your plan B? We'll be able to make the entire plan for you. Right? Okay. Any question, guys, who are listening to us, please feel free to put in the chat. Okay. Then Lakshya has not asked any question. Many people have filled the form, but they have not really asked any questions. So I really do not know how to help them. Right. Srinidhi, I want to pursue MBA after BDS. Can you please guide me about the exams and its preparation? Okay. And Sheila similarly has asked, I have done BDS and after BDS, how to get seat in IIMs and what all things I should keep in mind. Sheila and Srinidhi, right? I am very glad to tell you that 3 dentists are, joining great MBA programs through us this year. One is joining ISB. I already mentioned she is going to ISB. She joined ISB yesterday, and she left a very nice message for me that it's great to be here. It feels great to be here. Thanks a lot for all the help. She got 14.5 lakh scholarship. The second person also joined yesterday at Accelerate 1-year program, which is again a great brand in India. And the third person is joining Oxford 1-year MBA program. All three of them are dentists. So if you are a dentist and you want to really know what to do, what not to do, please message me. Book 1 hour, a one-to-one call with me on TopMate. I will provide you the link, because for dentists, this is a very different story. You know, there are so many things you need to consider. We need to first figure out, are you even really made for MBA or not? It's different. I need to tell all the pros and cons. I need to tell you how to decide if you should do, or you should pursue dentistry or not. Pursue management or not. So many dentists I'm helping through TopMate, because it needs one-to-one session, not a group session like this, because you will be having so many questions which are very unique to you because of your background, and because of my background in the past, I'll be able to answer all those questions for you. So Sheila and Srinidhi, I would request you to contact me immediately after the call is over. I will send you my TopMate link. Through TopMate, you will be able to, book 1 hour time with me, one-to-one time, where I'll sit with you and I will answer all your queries, as well as I will tell you everything that I have learned being a dentist turned management professional. Okay. GMAT preparation. So many people have asked about GMAT. Amit Stanner has asked about GMAT preparation. Sai Rishi has asked about how to prepare for GMAT and things required to get into Tier 1 MBA college in India. And someone has also asked how to prepare for GMAT. It's confusing. Ayushi has also asked about GMAT. So at Faith Career, we really do not help in GMAT or GRE preparation, because there's only so much we can do. We already help you in almost everything, including IELTS preparation, but not GMAT and GRE, because it is literally out of scope for us. But what I have done for GMAT, I have recorded a similar kind of session with Utkarsh, who was one of my ex-students. Very, very bright guy, and got a 717 GMAT. It's a very detailed interview. You will find that interview recording on Faith Careers YouTube channel. So I would request that please go and see that, and that you can directly contact Utkarsh. If you want to talk to Utkarsh, please let me know. I'll give you his number. He will be able to tell you what exactly to do for GMAT. I can also tell you, I had a 730 myself in my first attempt, but I literally took GMAT in 2016. So like, I'm an old guy now with respect to GMAT. So I really do not want to comment. Since 2016, even the format has changed. GMAT has become a shorter exam. If you want, I can give you the link of my blog, where I have written at length about my GMAT preparation, if that would be any benefit, of any benefit to you. But I advise you to contact Utkarsh, and he would be glad to help you guys. Perfect. I don't have any other question left with us. We have people had asked us. But can you throw light on banking sector BFSI? Which country or schools are suitable? Tanmay, do you have any idea for BFSI banking sector, which schools outside India are suitable?
Yes, I do. You must, Anusha, thank you for the question. You must target either the UK or Canada. Definitely the US, because Wall Street is in New York, so target that as well. But specifically within Canada, I would say you should target either Vancouver or Toronto. So depending on the kind of experience that you have, I can work with you one-on-one, and I can, help you submit applications to both the University of Toronto, Rotman School of Management, and also to the University of British Columbia's Sauder School of Business. Coincidentally, 2 of my students this year have received admits from the Sauder School of Business, one for the MIM program and one for the MBA program. When it comes to the UK, please target London. London is the financial hub, and it's also an upcoming tech hub of Europe, of Western Europe in general. And as I have already mentioned about, the US, specifically New York, being the financial capital of that ginormous nation. So you can target good schools such as Columbia, which is an Ivy League. You can target NYU Stern. You can target other schools which are both within and around New York. And one of the specific reasons why I always encourage people to target a school either in the same state where they wish to work or around it is because at the time of recruitment, a lot of employers are likely to ask you that, hey, if you pursued a master's degree from, let's say, Chicago, why are you moving or why are you interviewing for a role that's based in New York? So it would make a lot of sense for you to actually pursue your education from, let's say NYU or Columbia, and then work at the Wall Street.
Right. Thank you, Tanmay. Also, Anusha, I'll answer your question for India. For BFSI, I guess with your experience, no school beats IIM Calcutta. ISB is really not very strong for finance, but IIM Calcutta takes the cake the moment you mention finance. Even the one-year program is great for that matter. So you can have a look at IIM Calcutta. Dr. Pooja was our student and she got into IIM Calcutta with just 640. And she is doing great. She graduated last year and she is having a great career graph. I have done a similar session for Dr. Pooja as well, like this. You can go and have a look on that session, though that session is more oriented towards how dentist can make foray into the world of management. But she has answered questions related to IIM Calcutta as well. IIM Calcutta one-year program, so you can have a look there. I will give you the link. Okay. Anything else from anyone before we close the session? Okay. One question that I missed: preference of an experienced individual for ISB having 17 plus years of work experience in banking domain. Tanmay, would you want to answer this? Acha, this is a question for ISB. Okay. So 17 plus years of experience is not a deterrent at all for ISB. We have held so many people with more than 8 to 10 years of experience, and even in my batch, the president of the batch, president of the student council, which is called as GSP, Graduate Student Body of ISB, he had more than 15 years of experience, if I remember correctly. And there are always some students which come to ISB with greater number of experience. In fact, this year we had a student who went after 13 years, who cleared ISB after 13 years of working as an entrepreneur. So number of years of experience is not a deterrent at all. All you need to do is to ensure that you really communicate properly in the application that why exactly after all these years you feel the need of an MBA and why ISB is the school you have chosen to pursue your MBA. If you are able to communicate this well during the application and eventually in the interview, you will get a seat. It's not a deterrent at all. People will tell you so many things, but please do not believe anyone. Manu is saying, I have 10 years of experience preparing for GMAT 2023. Manu, please go ahead and prepare. There's absolutely no problem with that. Last year, Dheeraj Kaushik, who just graduated last week from ISB, again, he was my student, and he even became the president of the senior executive club at ISB, and he's doing great. This year also, Ram got through ISB with more, as I just mentioned, more than 12 to 13 years of experience, and he deferred due to some personal reasons, but he cracked the school. So please, I have heard there are random people found on internet who are deterring people with higher work experience to not to apply and all, but please, there is absolutely nothing wrong with applying with even more than 10 years of experience. Great. So I think we have answered all the questions. Tanmay, do you want to say anything before we close the session?
Yes, I do. So thank you everyone for the questions that you asked. One of the key things that I tell all of the students or potential students who approach me and everyone who wants to study abroad is to start early. Please start your application process as early as possible. So now the second question comes, how early, right? What is early in this case? Usually, in most cases, I suggest that if you're targeting, let's say, fall 2024, which is August to September 2024, please start your application, which was, by the way, last month. So ideally, you should have already started with your preparation. The studying abroad process might seem daunting, but don't worry, we are here to help. The more important thing to remember is that while the process may seem intimidating, note that it is more time consuming than intimidating. And there are lots of factors to be taken care of. For example, your recommendation letters, for example, your transcripts, your essays, which are multiple when it comes to these schools. Then, getting, in some cases, a birth certificate. For example, in case of France, you would be required to procure your birth certificate and get it translated into French from Alliance Française or someone else. So please ensure that you start the process at least 18 months in advance. This is also extremely important when it comes to procuring scholarships. Why? That's because in many cases, scholarships, especially external scholarships, which are funded by the governments of either of the countries that you wish to study in, maybe Indian government or the government in your host country, they are released 12 months in advance. And so many people think that after we have obtained the offer letter from our desired target school is when we would be applying for the scholarship. Please note that this is not the right approach, because in many cases you might obtain the offer letter by, let's say, the end of November or early December, and the last date to apply for that scholarship would have passed because it was either in October or late September. And in many of the cases, therefore, please note that these scholarships are not asking for an offer letter. What they're asking for is your interest in it. For example, the Shielding Scholarship, which is a fully funded scholarship when it comes to the UK, it is given by the British government, is not asking for offer letters. They're asking for an expression of your interest. So as long as you're able to show them a positive expression of your interest, they would be happy to interview you to get to know more about your candidature and profile and how you would be able to become a leader who would drive positive change in the world. This is specifically for Shielding. I can, of course, talk about other scholarships, so feel free to connect with me via Faith's Career, and we can discuss the rest. So please remember to begin the process much in advance. I understand that money is important for a lot of people, and that's exactly where scholarships become important. Also, the other thing is that if you submit an application before the round 1 deadline of any school, in question of target school, then you are signaling to the admissions committee that you're so interested in their school that you applied even before the R1 deadline. This is a very positive signal, and this early expression of interest has bore fruit in 99% of the cases. So please ensure that you submit your application much well in advance, and don't delay the process, because there is so much to be taken care of. For example, IELTS, GMAT, your transcripts have to be procured from your undergraduate institution or your postgraduate institution. Then your letters of recommendation, you would have to request your referees to write your recommendation letters. You would have to reach out to them. You would have to inform them that, hey, I'm applying to this school. Would you be willing to write a strong LOR for me? So all of these things have to be taken care of, which is exactly why it becomes important for you to start early. And last but not the least, please remember that once you obtain an offer letter from your target school, you also have to apply for your student visa to travel to that new country where you wish to study. And that is a process which takes anything from 2 to 6 months, depending on the country that you would want to go to. I think that's all from my side. Please feel free to get in touch with both of us or either of us, and we would be more than happy to help you.
Great. So thank you everyone for joining. Those who couldn't join or those who joined in between and missed the session, we will post the recording on our YouTube channel. You can have a look, and you can contact us anytime through Instagram, YouTube, through Twitter. We are on Twitter as well. So that's it, and LinkedIn. we keep posting all the success stories as well as blogs written by successful applicants themselves on our LinkedIn and our Instagram. So please follow us there. And that's it. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night. And we wish you a very good week. And I again end the session with just one advice. Please start early. Doesn't matter you're applying for India or abroad. Trust me, starting early matters a lot at the end. It actually can be a make or break thing for you. And we have enough evidences to support this. And that's it. I hope I see all of the aspirants on the other side of the admit hurdle. That's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.